Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, ugh, why am I like this? I failed again. Of course I did. Everyone else is doing great. It's just me who's a mess. If you hear that inner voice more often than you'd like to admit, this video is for you. Today we're talking about self-criticism, why we do it, how it's affecting you more than you realize, and most importantly, how to stop. But before we dive in, ask yourself one question. Are you being your own worst hater? Part 1. Why we're so self-critical. Let's rewind a bit. Self-criticism didn't start randomly. In fact, it comes from an old survival mechanism. Back in the day, being accepted by the group meant survival. If we made mistakes, we risked being left out. So we learned to constantly scan ourselves for flaws. Don't mess up. Fix this before anyone notices. That inner critic? It was meant to protect you. But here's the problem. What once protected us now punishes us. When self-criticism becomes a habit, it turns into self-abuse. Like a student who gets one answer wrong on a test and whispers, "I'm so stupid." Or an employee who stutters during a presentation and thinks, "My career is over." That's not feedback. That's bullying. And you're doing it to yourself. And what happens when you constantly criticize yourself? You stop trying, you lose confidence, you get stuck. Part 2. What happens when you stop being so harsh? Here's the good news. When you reduce self-criticism, even just a little, your life can change in ways you wouldn't believe. You bounce back from failure faster. You feel more confident in your abilities. Your relationships improve because you're not projecting your inner war onto others. In fact, neuroscience shows that self-compassion lowers stress, increases focus, and even boosts creativity. Think about that. Being kinder to yourself literally makes your brain work better. So why not try it? Part 3. Be your own best friend. Let's do a thought experiment. Imagine your best friend failed at something they cared about. Would you look them in the eye and say, "Wow, you really screwed up. You're such a failure"? Of course not. You'd say, "It's okay. You did your best." This doesn't define you. But somehow we don't give ourselves that same kindness. So here's your first real self-improvement tool. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Try this. Today was tough, but I made it through. I tried, and that counts. It's not weakness, it's strength. It's not laziness, it's self-respect. Part 4. Add humor to your inner dialogue. Self-criticism doesn't just sound serious, it feels serious. But what if you could make it a little silly? Let me give you an example. I once tried to start a new workout routine. Day 1, I skipped it. Day 2, same thing. By day 3, my brain went, "You never stick to anything. Why even bother?" But instead of spiraling, I laughed and said, "Well, I guess I'm doing the world's slowest fitness program." It made me smile and it snapped me out of that negative loop. Try this. Oops, my brain is being dramatic again. Oh, look, it's my inner critic trying to go viral. Humor gives you distance, and sometimes distance is all you need to choose a better response. Part 5. Swap self-criticism for self-understanding. Here's a key shift. Self-criticism focuses on the result. Self-understanding focuses on the reason. Example. I bombed that presentation. I'm terrible at public speaking. I didn't sleep well last night and I was anxious. That makes sense. You're not making excuses. You're identifying what went wrong without tearing yourself down. That awareness helps you grow because now you know what to work on. Part 6. Try this 3-minute self-kindness ritual. Let's make this practical. Take 3 minutes at the end of your day to write down 1 thing you did well, 2, 1 thing you struggled with, and why it's understandable, 3, 1 kind message to your future self. Example, I replied to that email I was avoiding. Good job. I got frustrated during the meeting, but I was tired. That's okay. Tomorrow, let's take a break when we need one. You can use a journal, your notes app, even a voice memo. The point is, start treating yourself like someone worth rooting for, because you are. Part 7. Bonus. What if you lived like you believed in yourself? Here's a challenge. What if, for 1 week, you pretended you believed in yourself completely? What would change? Would you try that thing you've been putting off? Speak up in that meeting? Apply for that opportunity? Sometimes we wait until we feel confident before we act. But here's the truth. Confidence comes after action. Compassion comes before courage. Start there. You might be surprised. You don't need to be perfect to be proud of yourself. You don't need to be flawless to be worth loving. You're already on the path to becoming a better me. Even if you stumble, even if you pause, even if it's messy. So the next time that harsh inner voice kicks in, pause, breathe, and say this instead. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm trying. And that is more than enough. Be kind to yourself.